the pain of liberation and the pain of enlightenment, the pain of understanding things on an experiential level, pain, awareness. So I just finished meditating in the forests of Thailand at a meditation center for 10 days. And this meditation technique is called Vipassana. Vipassana was the true, closest, most pure teaching of Buddha, the real teaching of Buddha. Because what I realized is that what Buddha taught is so far from what Buddhism is. So that's why I must highlight this. Because there's plenty of people that meditate, go to temples. Meditation exists far before Buddha. Buddha just found a new way. So my form of meditation that I learned was the true teachings of Buddha. And in one of the few places where the purest form of Buddha's teachings was kept alive, which is Burma. And many people are Buddhist, yes, they practice Buddhism. However, that is so far from what Buddha taught, okay? And I'm not saying this, no one's wrong or right. I'm just telling you what I just did in specifics for my meditation. Now, Buddha's technique was called Vipassana. Vipassana is what they call it, okay? And before I get into my experience after 10 days of silent meditation, no speaking, no eye contact, no gestures with others, nothing, silence, zero stimulation, no phone, 14 hours a day of meditating, 2 hours a day of rest or walking, sleeping for 4 hours a day, 14 plus hours, some days 16 hours of meditating, some days 20 hours of meditating if you couldn't sleep. And I just returned from this a few hours ago. I haven't really been on my phone besides telling my closest loved ones that I'm here. I haven't told any friends that I've returned just yet. The few people that I'm close to, I made sure to tell them, hey, I will be gone for quite a while. This is why I'm not replying. And this is my most raw reaction right now, the most freshest form. And I'm creating this so people that are looking for enlightenment or other ways, just a spread of knowledge, another partial truth to add to your whole truth, you know, because there's so many different truths. This is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And I'm not saying anyone's wrong. It's all partial truths. Collect knowledge. Let me exchange you some of my knowledge then, so you can get another partial truth to your awareness, to your knowledge database, okay? And another thing I want to say is I will be saying plenty pieces of very important knowledge during this video. So if there is somebody that can cut it up and put the parts where I am giving just pure knowledge and just put it all together, I will repost it on my page, because at points I will be quite literally clip farming or, you know, intent to not only educate but also entertain, because I must put these forms of wisdom in ways that people can easily digest, any man from any walk of life, you know. If you speak English, this might be put in forms for you to understand, or a Gen Z person to understand that speaks in slang. I'm gonna be clip farming basically. Funny, entertaining, but dropping knowledge bombs, truth nukes, okay? And yeah, but for the most part, this is the first video I'm recording. I haven't touched really any technology for 10 days. Still not even my phone, really. Just booked a hotel and told a few loved ones, hey, I'm safe. That's about it. Not checking up on my online businesses. Haven't told the bros or nothing, you know, just here. And yeah, I just wanted to document this. So let's begin. This will be all over the place. And before I start, I guess, since I will be taking my time to form thoughts, I might even be correcting myself in the process, I want to tell you, take a second, okay? This is the present. You're watching this video. You're not hearing any other voices. You're not hearing that one song you heard on TikTok right now, and yet it's playing in your head. Present, right now. Take this knowledge, learn, okay? This is what you're hearing. You don't need to hear anything else. That's not reality. This is the current reality that your ears are cognizing, okay? So, let's get into it, okay? I created a few notes, things I wanted to get into. It might be literally all over the place, but Yeah. Also, if you're wondering why there's little leaves right here, I literally had to frickin', for some decent lighting, my camera's literally in a bush, tucked in a bush right now. Like, you know, it's quite funny. Anyways, also, if you're wondering why, oh damn, this dude's sweating balls. Dude, it's literally Thai summer, bro. It's Thai summer in the middle of frickin' butt fudge nowhere. Oh my gosh. It's cruel, okay? I mean, I'm used to it, but if you're wondering, damn, this guy's like, bro, go in front of a fan real quick and then record the video. Well, there's no fan really, okay? We're in the poorest region of all of Thailand, Isan. Water Buffalo University, if you know. Anyways, Vipassana. I already went over this. Vipassana is one of the purest forms of teaching that Buddha gave. This is the meditation technique Buddha gave that enlightened so many people. This thing you call Buddhism, where people are going to temples and chanting and giving you spiritual tattoos like the one on my back, you know, maybe I say it's Buddhist, but yeah, what is categorized as Buddhism, yes, but this is not what Buddha taught. So keep that in mind. And even things like the following of Christ, Jesus Christ. What Jesus Christ taught is actually so far from what you would call a Christian. I'm not telling you you're wrong or right. I just want you to know that. You know, like Buddha did not even tell you to go freaking start a religion, okay? Jesus Christ literally did not. They literally just walked the world with compassion and love, okay? And spread the word on it and saw people in misery and wanted people to wake up and understand these things, okay? So, yes, this is Vipassana, Buddha's meditation technique. Meditation existed for so long, but this one was Buddha's, Siddhartha Gautama's technique. And I went to Siddhartha, okay? I went there. I literally meditated at the place, the exact spot under the tree that Buddha gave his first ever lesson. I was there. I meditated there. And this was quite full circle for me as well, because I was like, now I'm studying his purest form of the technique, and it almost died. You know, and I guess apparently someone that was close to Buddha was like, in 2,500 years from now, your original technique will come back, something like that. Because, you know, as things, beliefs, ideologies, religions go through lands, it changes based on the land. You know, and Buddhist thing, it changed. Thai Buddhism has different rituals than Vietnamese Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, you know, it all changes. But Buddha said 2,500 years from now, it will emerge again. And like exactly 2,500 years later, it literally did. No science behind it or anything. It was just like, what the hell-y? Anyways, yes. So, Vipassana. I want to say that with Vipassana, the technique is not me chanting anything. I'm not saying any of this and doing these things with my hand, these mantras, or reciting, or blah, blah. Actually, the main thing was to breathe. The whole point of Buddha was anyone can do this. This is universal, you know, breathe. Like literally, I literally went to the teacher and I would ask the teacher, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is this? And literally all she would tell me like for 3 days straight was respiration, sensation, equanimity, just breathe. Like, oh my gosh, bro, like really, like, bro, like I'm literally here fighting freaking demons, and the best freaking answer, the biggest spiritual teacher, okay, the biggest spiritual teacher at this whole center is out here just telling me, breathe. Oh my fucking God, bro, are you shitting me? I'm fucking fighting demons here, okay? Putting this jacket on because fuck, there's so many damn bugs. Anyways, yes, so the technique is breathing and awareness. However, when you are breathing, there's no visualization in the breathing. You're not imagining in, out. You're not chanting anything. You're not creating any image in your head of your lungs expanding. They just had you breathe. Universal. Any walk of life, any religion can do this. Buddha, when he was spreading the word of his technique, he went to religious people that were I don't know if it was Islam, whatever was the religion, Hinduism and things of this nature, cults. And he would go to these people and he said, practice my technique. And they said, I cannot betray my gods like this. I cannot betray my cult. And he said, no, it's nothing like that. It's no religion or cult, or I'm not gonna make you believe in anything actually. If anything, this will make you love your God even more and love your people even more. And they're like, there's no way. Like, there's no way, how? And he's like, breathe. That's literally it. Like, you know, my mom, when I said I'm safe, she said, what did they have you do? Did they have you chant? I said, no. It was literally breathe. I would ask the teacher for advice, help, this and that. And she just kept telling me, breathe. It's like, oh my fucking God. But then I get it. I got it now. I understand it. I understand it now. Anyways. So yes, Vipassana, the original teaching of Buddha. This is now distributed in 10-day courses. And this was more of a trial run. The 10-day course is actually, it's more intense. It gets more intense. However, this is the only way to get the deeper understanding of Vipassana, okay? So I just wanted to give like a little pretext to what this is. Yes, Buddha's original teaching. The real teaching that was so universal that hooked everyone. And I get it. Because guys, it's like deadass, like there's not really any belief system. Like it literally develops and manifests in yourself. Like it's literally just breathe. Like what the fudge? That was like, that's the craziest part to me. It's like the answer was just breathe. Like, all right, bro. At first I was like, all right. And then, okay. First things I wanted to give you guys is, yeah, this is not anything pertaining to any religion, you know? You can love God, Jesus Christ, Islam, Muhammad, Judaism, whatever. If you do this, you're literally not fucking anything up. Like, it's that fucking universal. You know what I'm saying? A fucking dog could be Buddha. You guys have no fucking idea type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Just breathe. Like, literally. But I'll get in depth in a second. Now, I wanted to get into some of the things I heard before doing it, and then what I experienced as well. And then I'm gonna get into like a few tips and tricks and a little tiny drops of wisdom, and then I'll get into the experience part of it. So, tips and tricks for the people that are looking into doing this really quick, just because somebody probably Googled this, and misconceptions. First misconception. Dude, I literally saw people online because I was like, I didn't want to research too much. Honestly, I'm kind of one of those guys that's really fuck around and find out, let's go do it. So I didn't want to research too much, but I definitely did research a little bit. And some people were like, it felt like a cult because they tell you, you must do it this way. This is how you do it. And like, that sounds like a cult when somebody tells you these people are teaching you a spiritual practice, an enlightenment, and they tell you, you must do this and this is the only way. That sounds like a cult from the outside. But then the literal technique is literally just sit there and breathe. That's the one fucking rule. Like, that's the one guide. So I'm like, how the fuck are people online saying this is a cult? And the people that are saying it's a cult, I'm like, okay, buddy, let me show you a fucking church then. Okay, now tell me if you think that shit is a cult. Okay, let me take you to a mosque. And I'm not saying those are cults or anything. I'm not saying anything about any of these things. I'm not making any statements on them. But I'm like, how the fuck did I go online and people say this feels like a cult? When like, yes, they were strong on like, just breathe. Just focus on breathing. Just feel the breath. I'm like, yeah, that's what they're telling you to do. And that's the only thing they're going to tell you to do. But like, that's literally fucking it. They're not saying don't be a sinner and this. None of that. They're literally like, bro, just breathe. Okay? Done with the breathing shit. Tips and tricks. Okay. Tips and tricks. So you are meditating about 14 plus hours a day, and it is quite tiring, rigorous, and weakening on the body in some senses because you're not really working the body out at all. You're literally just sitting all day. no speaking, nothing, no stimulation, nothing. And the best way for you to really enter the real flow state and enter the present, present time is to don't check time, dude. Do not check the time. Dude, it's too hot, but there's too many bugs. Like, oh my gosh. Sheesh. I'm not mad at it, but I'm just like, damn. And don't check the time. You have committed to be here for 10 days. The time will pass anyways. Don't psychologically play yourself. Just experience. Just be here to experience. Experience everything on the deepest levels and the deepest forms you can there, because you already committed to 10 days there. Don't check the time. Stop. And also, they don't even put clocks there. There's no clocks. You know what I mean? Like, the only clock there was in front of the dining hall, or not even in front, inside the dining hall, at the front of it, like inside. And then the only other clock was the exit of the meditation hall. So like, you have to go out of your way to check the time to begin with, okay? And at night you really can't, because you really should not be at the meditation hall at night, and you shouldn't be at the dining hall at night. So just don't check the time. You've already committed, dude. Don't check the time. And number 2 is follow the rules, because there is a few rules, okay? But some of the rules is like, don't work out. Like, you can stretch and stuff, some light stretches, but intense workouts, no. You need to just be calm, okay? Just chill. Just literally the only thing they want you to do is to sit here and literally breathe. Like, literally. So don't work out, don't do none of this. They say, I don't want you exercising. I don't want you doing intense yoga and shit. Don't. And on top of that, by the way, I did try working out once on like day 5 or 6. So I was like, or like 4 or some shit. And because I was like, fuck, dude, we're just sitting. Like, I need to upkeep my body, keep up maintenance, so I don't lose my physique from 10 days of doing literally nothing stressful or strenuous to the body. And I was like, okay, I'll crank out 200 push-ups and a 3-minute plank, just to keep the body in shape. Nothing to make me sore, literally just to keep myself in shape. And I did 200 push-ups, and then I did a 3-minute plank. I counted to 60 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I swear it mentally cooked me the next day, because now my perception of time came alive again. Like, I know what 1 second feels like. It's not even saying it out loud. It's like experiencing and being aware of the time made me not be able to focus again, because I'm like, how long has it been? Like, even though I wasn't thinking about how long it was, but you get what I'm trying to say. It gives your mind a subconscious perception of time once again, when the whole point is to be present and not care about this, because you're here for 10 days regardless. So that's a tip, trick, rule. They tell you don't work out, bruh, don't. Trust me. Okay, I get it. You're a bodybuilder. Me too, but don't. Body cap. Oh, bugs. Bugs. This is a random observation I had, but you're literally in the forest. My center in specific, I don't know about the other ones, but mine was in the forest, 40 minutes to an hour away from the nearest city, Udon Thani. And dude, the bugs coexist and the nature coexists with the people. And I've seen this phenomenon happen in plenty of spiritual grounds like Mecca. There's so many pigeons around this city where Mecca is, and they literally, the birds don't poop where the holy site is specifically. And this is known to be the holiest site for people who are Muslim. Just by coincidence, it's so random. Nobody is trying to shoo away the birds. They don't got some like special noises or something to keep birds away from this holy site. They just don't go there. And then like you walk like a little bit farther out of Mecca, like the holy site, and then it's a living shit ton of bird poop. I'm like, dude, they literally just don't shit here. And it's like, there's like a sixth sense of like the nature knowing what's happening, I guess. Because at Udon Thani, the lizards and bugs in my room, because my room was not closed. It was like, you get a room. I think I've shown the video. However, like, it's just screens. It's not even a window that closes and open at the top. It's just screens that probably have holes, because, dude, one night I saw a fucking huge lizard, dude. Like 11-inch lizard. but like the actual body was only like maybe like that big, but then like the fucking tail was fucking huge, and it was in my room, and it was right there by my bed on the ceiling. I was like, oh my God, fuck my life. And I tried shooing it, shoo, go away, you know? And that motherfucker did not care. And usually like the animals, like when you do that and like make gestures and like bang the wall, they'll move. The lizard just did not give a fuck. And I was like, is it because it knows like that this is nature right here? You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, Thai lady. However, yeah, it was just interesting seeing nature coexist with the humans in a very interesting sense. You know what I mean? Like, we're so far away from the city, and then you're like reminded like, oh my gosh, when people live like these natural lives in nature, the nature actually coexists with them and doesn't fuck with them. If anything, the humans are part of it, you know? There's other places where it just randomly happens, like Miyajima Island in Japan, near Hiroshima. The deers just sit there next to you and sleep next to you. They don't annoy you for food or anything. Now the Nara deer in Nara, the city in Japan, they do because they're too predisposed to tourists and humans. However, in Miyajima Island, the deers just coexist with the humans. They don't fuck with you, they don't do nothing. Like, they just coexist with you. And it's because it's on an island and the Japanese population is so small in this city that they literally have learned to coexist. Beautiful. Just an observation I made because I was in the literal jungle. Okay. Man, this is gonna be long. Okay. Fudge. Also, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna wait for her to finish. Okay. Lady's a little bit farther now. So let's start with the real practice, okay? I'm just saying just breathe, but okay, I'm lying. I'm lying. It's a little bit deeper than that. 10-day experience and what you literally do. So the first 3 days, I think it was called Samadhi or Sila. I forgot what the name of it was, but you're basically, to begin with, for the first 3 days, you are doing a practice of sharpening the mind for once you actually practice the real technique of Buddha, which is Vipassana. And what you do the first 3 days during these meditation sessions is, first you breathe, but then like you try to allow your breathing to become natural. You don't want to breathe in and out and imagine in, out, visualize, no. None of this, nothing, 1, 2, nothing. Just like enter a natural breathing state of just clear-mindedness, like where you're literally just breathing and your mind is clear, okay? Because the idea of this natural breathing state is you're not creating any realities in your mind to help create a better inner reality. It's actually just clear the mind and allow your body to enter a natural breathing state so you can observe reality exactly as it is. Because if I were to start trying to visualize my lungs, okay, coming in and out in order to enter this breathing technique, well, now I'm creating a reality. I'm adding in something that is not natural, not nature, you know? I'm doing something intellectual almost. This is when it starts to dissolve into something else, the mental aspect of accepting reality the way it is. Because if I'm meditating, imagining this, that is not reality. Maybe in my head, but this is not what is just taking place. So you're supposed to like literally just breathe with no thoughts. Like you're supposed to enter a natural breathing state without knowing you're breathing. And then once you start clearing your mind and just breathing with clear-mindedness, what they have you do to sharpen your mind is feel what's happening in your nose. Like allow your body to naturally breathe and just start feeling the air enter your nose, you know? Like right here, I feel my nostril move just a tiny bit when I'm naturally breathing. I feel the air like in the nose like just on this wall, this wall. And it's just feel that. That's it. That's literally it. You focus on this triangle area, the sensations that come from you in a natural state. I sense maybe when I'm naturally breathing, when I'm breathing out, I feel the tiny drop of this nose. I feel the tiny drop of my mustache pressing down when I'm breathing out. Like the tiniest little figment, the little drippity drop of nose hair moving, okay? Or like when I'm breathing in, I feel my nostril push in on the outside just a tiny bit. Like, you see how my nose just pushed in? Well, when you're actually breathing, it's literally always happening just on a very, very miniature level. Another thing, when I'm breathing out, I feel it touch the top of my lip sometimes. That's it. That's all they have you do. You focus on a small area, observing the reality of this small area and the reality of this area without anything added. They don't give you any technique to the breathing. How do I enter the natural breathing? Just breathe. And then you literally figure it out. Guys, you've been breathing your whole fucking life, okay? You can figure it out. You're not supposed to visualize, just fucking breathe, like literally. And then once you enter the natural breathing, you're not adding anything. You're not telling yourself to visualize. Once you visualize, that's when that reality is not aligned with what's actually happening outside, you know? Because now in your head, you're visualizing something, but there's no visualization happening in reality, guys. Okay, I don't know how to freaking explain this, but you get what I'm saying? You're trying to observe your reality in its literal purest form, okay? So that's why there's not really any fucking technique. It's literally just breathe and enter your natural breathing state. And how do you do that? By clearing the mind and remembering your present. And that's really fucking hard. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I'm like, so you're telling me to observe my breathing, but don't think about breathing? How fucking hard it is. And then also I'm like, am I fucking stupid? Because that's so fucking easy. I've been breathing my whole life without realizing. Like, how is this now hard for me to just breathe and not think of shit? And then once I realize I'm not thinking of shit, to just feel the sensation of my natural breath taking place. No visualizations, no imagining gods, no techniques, just breathe, literally. And then just feel your breath. That's literally it. However, it's sharpening the mind because we'll get into it later, but you're focusing on such a small area of sensation, such a small area of what your physical body is experiencing in the present, okay? And through this, you are clearing the mind, you know, purifying the mind, being one with nature in a very natural state, natural state, natural, you know? Again, no techniques, nothing to it. Literally fucking vanilla as shit. Like, really, bro? Like, you think this is a goddamn cult? Like, I literally was thinking on the first day, I was like, this is not a fucking cult. This guy that I watched on the fucking TikTok is fucking bullshit and trying to get views or some shit, I swear. Okay. Now, why? Why do you breathe for 3 days straight on this focus? Why is this sharpening the mind? Because after 3 days of sharpening the mind, learning how to clear it, knowing how to like only think about sensation and how you feel in reality, the reality of what you are experiencing. Now you've learned really how to feel your own body, how to exist. And now, okay, you know how to feel your body. Like even my nose, I feel my heartbeat pulsing through my whole body. It literally is. You can feel your heartbeat doing this. If I can feel it here, it's definitely here too, by the way, guys. You just need to really be aware of your own body. Sensation, feeling the sensations that your own body is experiencing in this reality. Okay? So, after 3 days, you learn Vipassana. And everything after that is facial. They want you to start feeling the other sensations in your body. And it's much easier, and I get why they have you focus on only your nose and breathing the first few days. And it's because they're saying, okay, now feel the sensations in this finger, and this finger, and this finger, this finger, this finger. Now combine them, and then this fingertip, this, and now combine them, and then feel the sensations only in this hand. And now your focus is so strong on like focusing on one micro part that even right now, I feel my heartbeat running through this finger. Okay, I'm gonna change the energy. I literally feel only the force field around this finger, this fingertip. You know, that's when I notice, okay, my mind is sharp. Okay, now what? Okay, I can feel the fingers. Okay, now your arms. Okay, now your chest, your neck, your head. And the point is to feel these sensations throughout the whole entire body. Just be aware of your literal existence. This is the reality, you know? No technique, literally no fucking technique. Literally just aware of your existence, okay? And this in itself does so much for your brain, for your mental, because you cannot liberate yourself physically in a sense. Really, you can't, because it is the mental shackles that make you think that getting all these physical things is what liberates me. If I'm rich, I'll be free. If I don't have to work, I'll be free. Now I have an idea of liberation, a physical idea of liberation. But you realize the real liberation is in the mind. You know? I am in control of my mind. I am free. I can do anything. I am free, you know? However, you actually change once you start liberating yourself, and you become someone that really does not desire. You know, one observation I had, it's like I came here to train the mind, control the mind, no longer be a slave of my own mind. You know, and so I can optimize my life, work better, work harder, work effectively with full control, alignment with my physical body, my mental body, my spiritual body. You know, so I can achieve and do this and that. It's funny because it's like, oh my gosh, the closer I fucking get to myself, the less I want to work. It's so fucking funny. Even the fucking Bible, it's like the more you read about Jesus' stories, it's like you think it's gonna make you happier and like you can better navigate your work life. But it's like the more you fucking read the Bible, the less it makes you even want to work at all. It's so funny. You read the Bible and Jesus, these people are going to Jesus. He's like, Jesus, you know, my wife, she's doing this and I'm a very rich man and I must give this and provide this. Jesus, how do I feel happy? How am I supposed to be free of this mentally? I'm so shackled, it hurts me in the head. And Jesus is like, let go of it all. Give away your riches. Let your wife do what she wants. If it is meant, it's meant. Just let go of the worries, you know? And it's like, well, fuck. The worry is like work and shit, right? You know, the worry is society. Everybody, you know, we all experience this. And that's what I'm saying is so ironic. It's like, sometimes you enter these things on a quest for knowledge to help you better navigate your life and society and existing. And it's like, the closer I get to these readings and the more knowledge I gain from all of these partial truths, the more I want to get the fuck away from society and the less I want to fucking work. You know, I like live in a fucking cave and just meditate with a clear mind and breathing. Only love is coming out. Happiness. I'm like literally emanating happiness, harmony. Like, you know, pure. I'm feeling purified of the mind. You know, I'm just saying this is an ironic observation. Anyways, so that is like the techniques. And here's the thing about Vipassana. Okay, I've given you guys basically a basis of what you do. And this might not really be like fucking that educational, you might think, but actually anyone that's fucking has like 2 fucking brain cells can actually realize and come to a deeper explanation to their self why that actually sounds fucking smart as shit. Because it's like, it is that fucking simple. Holy fuck. And the reason I don't want to keep going into like what happens more and more, like the knowledge given in that sense of like what you exactly do, and I gave you guys a basis, which is obviously very simple, is because the reality of why Buddha's truth was so important was because this is only something you can understand the knowledge and gain the fruits of labor from by understanding this on an experiential level. This is something where like I don't want to explain too much because you literally like understand the lesson of it by experiencing it and getting experiential wisdom. And this is why Buddha brought so much happiness to people, because it's not that they just understood Buddha was some intellectual man that can explain it all to you. I can tell you why you're in misery. I can tell you why you're unhappy. You know, that's not what made Buddha or Siddhartha Gautama the wise one. It was actually more so of the fact that they had the wisdom, guys. Look at Hindu culture. They literally had answers. They had the intellectuals. They had the high IQ takes. They knew the sciences, you know, and yet in their meditations with these sciences, the answers, the gods, they had the answers, all of them, intellectually. But what Buddha realized was there's a layer deeper than this. There's a layer deeper than just having the intellectuality and the IQ and the understanding and the knowledge of it to reach liberation and true freedom and equanimity. The layer below the intellectuality and the deepest layer is the experiential level. Like, this wisdom can only truly be understood when you experience it yourself. Experiential wisdom, you know? So he went and meditated himself in so many different forms, guys. Hinduism existed before Buddhism. He was an Indian, you know, or from India, I don't know. I know people be saying like all types of shit, but like we all know he's from India, basically. That's besides the fact, okay? They damn near had the answers. Motherfucker's been meditating. It's not like he fucking made meditation, okay? That's the point I'm trying to say. However, he got a layer deeper by telling you that, yes, you're all intellectual. Yes, you have all the answers. However, the reason you are not at liberation is because you're not understanding all this intellect on an experiential level and experiencing these answers yourself, okay? And that is the key that all of them were missing. And that's why Buddha's technique hit so fucking hard, because I can tell you all the facts. Guys, I can tell you how the fuck to get a woman, or I can tell you how to get rich, give you a guideline, a fucking foolproof guide. This is how you fucking get rich. Except the only motherfuckers that actually get rich are the motherfuckers that actually experience the fucking work it takes to go get rich. The ones that actually do the work. Because yes, the guide is this, that. However, you'll only really understand it when you literally do it. You understand? Like, the dude that, let's say, there's a guy that reads thousands and thousands of books on female psychology and the divine feminine and how to get women and how do I riz this, that, and he could have all the knowledge, and yet for some reason the women feel this other guy more, and it's because this other guy actually went out there and all of his learnings and teachings was from experience. He actually went up to women. So let's say this one guy, he has all the knowledge, but he's never went up to a woman, and then this one guy, maybe he doesn't even have all the knowledge, he has some, except he actually experienced what it's like to go up to these women and speak to them and gained an experiential wisdom and an experiential knowledge that you cannot teach. Well, you can, but like, it's like, that's the deepest layer, the final layer that they were missing. An experiential wisdom. How do I experience these truths of liberation? And Buddha gave the technique. And the technique was to experience the present reality as it is. Breathe. Like, literally, bro. Like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? That shit's so crazy to me. Like, literally, the only fucking thing you have to do is breathe, bruh. Literally, damn near, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you get it. And, so, next thing. You could apply this even in your life, though. Intellectual and experiential wisdom. Because one thing about many men, including me, is we all think we're know-it-alls, I swear. However, the men that get the most fulfillment and the ones that grow so wise, the wisest, where not only are they giving you the knowledge, but then like you're with the man himself and then you see him do it actually too. The reason they're so wise is because they understand the reality of what they're trying to do on an experiential level. They have experiential wisdom. And that is something to motivate you for whatever you're thinking or doing or questions you have about your life is, okay, experience it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's deadass the best teacher. Being present and experiencing. Literally. You know, I meet so many very smart men nowadays. And sometimes the men I run into, they're smart, and then we go out and it's time to go conquer. And all of these smarts are somehow no longer useful because they lack the deeper layer, which is the experiential wisdom. You know, and they have all the books though. They studied this. I studied this. I read this online, this. Okay, when did you test this then? And that's the real knowledge. That's the deepest level of knowledge. To where once you get some of these pieces of knowledge, it's so specific and keen to you because all of us are really like our own storylines that it's so fulfilling because this is only for me to experience. That's why when you look at these guys and you're truly inspired, it's because he did not go and do this for you. He didn't go for you to clap it for him and be like, wow, you're so... From the start, he did it for himself. He expressed himself. He experienced himself. I'm literally, there's a temple right there. That's why you hear this bell. Like, what are the odds? My hotel, after I meditated in the fucking jungle for like almost 2 weeks, I happened to literally be staying in front of a fucking huge temple, probably the biggest one in all of Udon Thani. This is a tiny ass city, by the way. Flat as fuck. Anyways. Slavery. Mental slaveries, okay? And I'm not giving you guys any statements. I'm giving you guys my experiential wisdom, things I went through. So if you guys find any problems with my philosophies, it's possibly because we are literally at different points of our lives, me and you. However, it's important for you to collect my partial truth, as now you know I'm someone that actually went and did this. And now you can apply it to your life when you go through these experiential stages of self-expression and self-understanding, okay? Wow, I love that we're next to a temple. Let's take a second to breathe. Let's take 1 minute. And I have a fucking cigarette. Oh, that's so stimulating. Too stimulating. I didn't smoke nicotine at all. I don't even like nicotine. I had zero withdrawal. Okay, 1 second. That was nice, right? Nah, I just want silence. I don't even want to speak again. I just want to be right here. I feel the wind. I hear the bells. I don't hear my SoundCloud playlist. I hear the bells. And that's it. I feel calmness. Well, that makes sense. I'm in a calm environment. Not thinking about anything besides what's in front of me. I'm here. Anyways, exit the stages of calmness and back to optimization of the mind. Talk to you guys, spread some knowledge, okay? That's what we're here for. Oh, slavery is mental. So it's quite funny because the rule is to breathe, right? And it's actually really fucking hard to do that. Yeah, you guys are breathing, but like, okay, try focusing on only breathing. I don't want you to think about anything else. Not breathing, not in and out, but focus on the sensation of your breathing, nothing else. You're thinking about other things already, 5 minutes. Things that you did not choose to enter your mind, you know, whether it's that appointment tomorrow that you have, or that song you heard, or that random funny ass TikTok. It enters your mind and you just giggled. But you commanded yourself to just feel the sensation of your breathing. Are you a slave to your own mind? I still am. We all are. However, it is mental mastery, mastery of the mind, mastery of the self. That's what you're practicing when you're doing this breathing. Because it's so fucking simple, and yet we can't fucking do something as simple as fucking breathing. I want you to try doing that. After this, go for 1 fucking hour. I want you to have a clear mind and only think about the sensation here in this triangle area. If you think about one single other thing outside of this, just know you're being shackled by your own prison that you made for yourself. You know? It's crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy. Spooky. Okay. 1 hour of focus. Oh yeah. So, one thing that really took place for me during this was the fact that I didn't just get it down in one day, guys. I didn't just start feeling sensations of being present, okay? I literally had to be like, holy fuck, I'm a fucking slave to my own fucking self. My own internal world is hell in slavery and shackles that I created for myself, okay? Because when you're trying to clear your mind, things enter, okay? And this is where it starts, okay? Because now you can't do anything. So the only thing you can literally pay attention to for like 18 hours a day is your thoughts. So the first few days, the first day, my thoughts was randomness, random bullshit. I would try focusing on the breathing, and yes, that random TikTok entered. Yes, this entered, this thought of this, the music, the family, what are they doing? How are the guys in front of me feeling? Or with my eyes closed, I'm like thinking of all these things, and that's where the first layer of frustration entered in me was, okay, if my mind's gonna at least wander, my mind is wandering and only thinking fucking bullshit. Like literal bullshit. Like the first layer for me was like, okay, I'm literally thinking fucking bullshit. And once I started getting better at clearing my mind, the bullshit became a little less and a little less. However, I was still thinking, my mind was still wandering. It transitioned from thinking about bullshit, and then you're filtering the bullshit out. And then now I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna fucking think, at least let me think about only things for strengthening myself and the future, and thoughts that will actually serve me in the physical realm. Let me turn it into that. Like, I'm thinking literal half the time bullshit, you know? And then, so it filtered. I kept checking myself. I was like, you're thinking about a fucking TikTok song? Some fucking SoundCloud rap song that's catchy? It's like, at least fucking think about how you can optimize your online business. You know what I mean? Like, let that be what you're thinking about all the time. So the filtering process started for me. And then eventually it shifted. It went from thinking about bullshit when the mind would wander, to when my mind would wander, I started optimizing my thoughts. Only thinking thoughts that served me. Like, the only thoughts that started entering my mind was, how can you be better? How can you move further in this process How can you gain more experiential wisdom? How can you optimize? And job was not finished at this point. I'm still filtering, by the way, because the real level after this is, the real goal was to not think at all. So like, even though you guys think, oh wow, he went from thinking about bullshit to the only things that are serving him, or the only thoughts he's having are thoughts that are serving him, right? You think job's finished right there, right? Like, oh, okay, I can go back home and now the only things I ever think about are things that serve me. So I'm not a slave to my own mental. Actually, I command this body now. I control the thoughts. However, even that's not the final goal of this. What they told you to do was clear the mind. I don't even want you to think thoughts that serve you right now. I want you to command the self to do this one thing, and it is be present. So it doesn't end at optimizing the brain and controlling. It is taking that fucking shit and fucking being like, this motherfucker, do this. Be in the present. You know what I mean? So just because my brain started optimizing, job was not done. Okay? Even though I'm thinking only good ass thoughts, only shit that will move me forward. I'm not thinking about any bullshit or any past thoughts, any memories. And I'm thinking about only good things that are for the future and building the self. That's still not the final stage. They told you to think of nothing. Clear the mind, calm the mind. So don't think just because you guys are fucking thinking thoughts that are only optimizing your future, that in itself is a craving, okay? I'm here to purify. I don't want to crave. I don't want to be attached to this physical world. I want to command this body to navigate the physical world, because this consciousness, it's a soul. I don't want to say it's a soul. I want to try keeping this as universally understandable as possible, because when I start saying soul and this and that, it changes. Here, I'm recording right now, but get that dog away from me. Sorry, that was one of the bros. Sorry, that is a stray. You know, I don't mind being around dogs that are like normal and like, but if you get bit by a single stray, oh my gosh. Back home you go. 12 fucking rabies shots in the fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry. And that's my reaction. Like, I shouldn't even react to that. I should just be aware of everything around me. Sorry. I'm like literally like mentally like still digesting everything I experienced. And it's funny because the only fucking thing they had you do was fucking breathe. And I'm like talking about like I'm digesting everything I went through. Isn't that fucking hilarious? I literally had one job and it's to breathe. And I learned so fucking much. And that's why the teachings of Buddha was gold, bro. That's why it was gold, liquid fucking gold, mental gold. Because it is so universal. It is something that applies with, that works with the way of life and the law of nature. It's so universal. There's no this rule, that rule, this rule, this rule, that rule, that rule, this rule. Do this, do that, this way, that way. It's like literally just breathe. Like, I don't know why the fuck, I know I keep repeating this shit, but like, unless you do this shit, you won't understand what the fuck I mean, bro. You won't understand it, because this is not even Buddhism. Buddhism is so far from literally what Buddha taught now. You know what I mean? Buddha emerged, he came with this technique 2,500 years ago. There was none of this temples or whatever. Well, yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't do some fucking like black magic to fucking come up with this shit and some fucking mad scientist next to him and a mathematician next to him to find the truth of life. He found the truth that helped so many people get out of misery by simply existing. And that's why it's so universal, because you're literally just aware of your natural state. Natural. You're aware of nature. You're one with nature. Like, I don't know how to fucking explain this. Fuck. But I hope people that actually like can interpret things for themselves. I'm not trying to make this some riddle for you guys. I'm just like still coming up with the words myself, and I may record again in like 30 minutes once I even have that down more. Okay? El Bhavatu Saba Mangalam. May all be happy. Real harmony. Real peace. Real happiness. Bhavatu Saba Mangalam. Anyways, back to the topic. Because I have so much fucking shit here. So much funny shit too. So, oh yeah. Okay. Sankhara. So I told you, so I have a little note section here. So I already told you guys the first stage of wisdom is intellect. You know, all these base levels of knowledge, these things you can just gain, read, learn. And then what Buddha was telling you of why you're in hell is because you're not understanding the knowledge on an experiential level. And that's the goal, okay? Experiencing. Experience. Okay? Boom. Panya. Okay? Another thing I wanted to say about collecting the truth of Buddha was sorry, Cap. Sorry. Sorry, Cap.
Give me a. Lời. Tồn hú ấy.
Spin the dog. D-A-double-G. D-O-double-G. Snoop Dogg.
Lời.
Anyways, guys. Sorry, Cup. I'm in Thailand, by the way. I mean, you guys already know that, but just want to make, that's the fucking language I'm saying. I'm just saying hello in Thai, that's it. And I was like, sorry, Cop. Like, sorry. Cop is like, when you're like, that means I'm a man saying this. And it's like a sentence ender, too. So, like, it'll be like, Sawadi is like hello. And then Sawadi Krap, Kap is like hello. And then it's like, I'm a man saying that. And then the other one is like, if you're a woman, Sawadi Ka, I'm a woman saying this. And then you'll just say Ka or Kap at the end of sentences randomly. Like, I said, sorry, Kap. It's just a sentence ender. In case you're wondering what I'm saying. So, it's important to understand that you must experience on an experiential level while on your quest for knowledge, because you need to understand that these are still two different forms of expression. I'm not saying don't read the books and don't do this and that and go to the teacher and study. Yes, do it, but apply it and experience it though. Because it might not be interpreted on that deeper level to what it was on the intellectual level for you. You know what I mean? It might be something different after you used and applied the wisdom. That experiential wisdom might not align with the intellectual wisdom you had, and neither is wrong, but now you understand that intellectual wisdom now on a separate level, because now you've used it to transform it into experiential wisdom, which is the deepest and most fulfilling kind of wisdom you can get, experiencing thyself. You understand? So, one of the things that I loved was there's something called anicca. And anicca is impermanence. Every moment is fleeting. Every moment is just a manifestation of myself and my reality. Impermanence. Nothing is forever, guys. Nothing. And the reason that focusing on breathing is so fulfilling in that understanding of everything is impermanent is because you're watching the breath go in and out. I'm experiencing, but I'm also manifesting my next second and experiencing the manifestation. And then it just passes. And now it's no longer there. It's not permanent. So no attachment, but I've gained the wisdom of experiencing. Impermanent, guys. Your happiest days, it is impermanent. Your saddest days, it is impermanent. And yes, we all know this. Like, it's so easy to understand on an intellectual level. Like, that's fucking like 1 + 1 = 2, right? But to like understand that impermanence exists on such a natural level of just, this was an inhale for 1 second and now it's an exhale, and now that will never exist again, and that is just a moment to pass. It helps you develop some kind of mental strength, I guess. And another thing about understanding that it's all impermanent is knowing that, you know, that, fuck, what was I gonna say? Was to know that this moment is going to pass, you know? Is knowing that once I experience the changing of life down to the millisecond of experiencing, I realize that through this impermanence, I can make the decision to use my present then to move forward and gain more experiential wisdom, or I can use this present moment that is impermanent to stay in my misery or multiply my misery. Which way? Shall I use this present that will pass in 1 second as a step forward, or shall I stay and or even move back and stay or go further in misery? You know, once you pay attention to that every millisecond is passing, every moment is just passing. Like yes, I'm trying to I'm feeling this shit on such a deep level because I experienced this shit, and like you guys are like probably like, no duh, bro. But like, once you understand that every single moment is passing on such a deep and natural level, even noticing that you will never get that breath again, it hits different when I say, will you use this moment of presence to take a step forward, a moment to gather wisdom, or will you use this second to move backwards? Shall I gain the experiential wisdom now, the experiential wisdom and endure the pain of enlightenment, or shall I use this impermanent moment that will pass to multiply my misery? Tell me. And it takes experiencing and understanding and sitting with yourself for hours on hours to realize that even this insignificant, quote unquote, insignificant moment, I'm gaining wisdom just sitting right now. I don't even have a book in front of me. I don't even have anything in front of me, anything stimulating. I haven't touched my phone. But like right now, I even feel my breathing now, and I'm gaining wisdom right now. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm breathing in wisdom. I am breathing wisdom right now. But like, fuck, that sounds schizo as fuck, but like, fuck, you get what I'm fucking saying, guys? I hope someone like could be like, oh fuck, that ass does make sense. And that's another thing too, the intellectual level. That's the thing. we are so engulfed in logic and reasoning because we are human, you know, that you realize that it is this logic, it is this reasoning, it is this validity of what's good and bad is what makes us human and what helps us gain intellect. This is what helps us gain knowledge. However, once you even just understand simply that there's really no reason, and sometimes the best knowledge is the things that have no logic to it. This is more like a personal thing for me, because I'm seeing it so much and I see it in myself as well. Like, bro, it doesn't have to fucking make sense. You know, the answer does not have to make sense to be your answer. You know, the experiential wisdom does not have to come to the conclusion from just your logic. It could also be things like being unreasonable, being selfish about yourself with no logic, just fuck all of you. But like I said, fuck all of you. I just did something so unreasonable. I had no reason. There's not a fucking drop of logic on why I should even say fuck you and, you know, be like, fuck you, fuck you. There's no fucking logic. And yet, for some reason, by me experiencing this unreasonableness is why I'm gaining experiential knowledge. Like people, like we're all searching for answers. But sometimes the best fucking answers have literally no logic and no intellect to it and no IQ, you know, no deeper fucking equation. You know, sometimes the answers are like literally just one experiencing the self. And that's the thing, guys, like we're so enveloped in our minds that we're always thinking, what is the best thing? What is the most logical, right? You don't always need though. You know, there's sometimes in nature, there's some things where it's like, there is no logic to it. This is just the way it is. And that is what Buddha was trying to teach you and have you experience. To see life exactly as it is, and to experience life exactly how it is, to accept it exactly the way it is. No extra anything, no logic, no intellect, nothing. To just experience and accept and understand life just as it is, as you are experiencing it. And that can help reduce your mental shackles so much. Let's say, for example, a woman, right? Okay guys, we're back. It's been about 2 days since the meditation, 48 hours. And that first day, the feelings were very intense. Like, I had too much to say in that video, and if I kept recording, it really would have went on for 1 hour, 2 hours, because I was only just getting started. However, the past 2 days I have meditated, and I noticed how clear my mind is easily. And there's one teaching in there which is called like the Sankhara. There's like 4 principles of identity or some shit, but your Sankhara is like the reactionary side of you, where if there's an itch, you react, you scratch. If you pick up your phone, that is a reaction of something happening on the inside, a thought, whatever it may be. But then I also believe it to be imposing your will on this physical reality. And no wonder why you're unhappy, trying so hard to impose your will on this physical reality by saying, I want this. And it's like, okay, it might not literally be in your reality right now. So you're trying to compare 2 ideas, one that is real and present, to one that literally does not exist or has yet to exist. Okay? Because the reason I notice this is that when you are entering these meditative states, I think, for me personally at least, one of the calming points and points that make me feel so present during them is I'm simply just breathing in my natural respiration state, observing my sensations, being present, but I'm present in a way where I'm not imposing my will on the reality, and I'm completely seeing reality as it is. When I feel a scratch, I'm just aware of it. I'm not reacting. I'm just acknowledging it is existing in my reality. Like, I can't explain, like, and that's the peaceful part. It's like I'm imposing my will on nothing. If a bug flies on me, that bug imposed their will on me, their reality on me. Like, then that is the reality. That is reality. However, when you go do, let's say you scratch your skin, you have just imposed your will on this physical reality. And that is why sometimes you can be unhappy trying to get somewhere, trying to go places, because we're not seeing things as they are. Man, this might not make sense to you guys, but like, if anyone has like a drop of fucking philosophy in their fucking mind, or like has actually sat there and talked to themselves, you'll know what I mean. Like, because I'm in this state where I'm doing nothing and breathing and just focusing on being present and my respiration and just what I'm feeling, like, I'm asking nothing from the world. And because I'm asking for nothing from the world, it allows me to see the world exactly as it is, clearly. And now, don't get me wrong, some of you might be thinking, well, then how do I achieve anything? Well, I'm not telling you that this is the solution completely. It is to know that when you are thinking thoughts that are imposing your will onto reality, it must be taken very seriously. Like, let's say I want to fucking do this shit, or I want to become this. No, I am this. This is literally the only reality I live in. And I'm so fucking good at knowing fucking reality because I literally sit there and allow reality to exist around me. So, the days I do impose my will onto reality, this is no joke. You understand what I'm saying? And that's another thing people keep saying, or some people were asking this during the meditation, was they would be, fuck, I forgot already, shit. Oh, another thing I noticed at the meditation though was so many guys, surprisingly enough, at my, fuck dude, this fucking plane. Dude, we are literally right next to a fucking, like, a jet training program area, and we're not even next to the airport. Well, we are, but also, apparently this city in Thailand just so happens to have like a aviation training ground. So like, there's just an odd amount of fucking planes flying compared to anywhere, you know what I mean? Like, just so happened. And my hotel is right next to this fucking aviation training ground. Anyways, one thing a lot of people around me were asking, because on the last day, you finally get to speak. You finally get to speak. You know, you haven't spoken to anyone, no eye contact, no physical touch, nothing. On the 10th day, you finally get to speak. And I noticed so many of the people around me were asking the teacher, like, you know, what is enlightenment? Are you enlightened? Are you this? Are you that? And how do I get to that, right? We're asking these questions to get to it, like, faster, right? To, like, you know, see if the technique is working or something. But it's like, you're not supposed to, like, ask these questions, I feel like, because it's really a wisdom that you get from experiencing the technique. Like it's not about all the philosophical questions that you ask outside. It's all about the philosophical questions you ask inside. Like, she can't just tell you, you're enlightened now. Like, I don't know, I noticed so many guys ask these questions. I guess that's what they told me. And I was like, are you, like, to me, I was like, you're missing the whole point, you know? Like, these questions are actually for you to ask and ponder and experience and discover yourself. You know, you're asking your teacher the wrong thing. She can teach you and remind you the technique though. However, like, if you're asking what is enlightenment, how am I supposed to feel these vibrations? You literally just go do it. Like, I can't fucking explain. Like, nobody can give you an answer. Like, it's not about the answer, Sway. You don't got the answer, Sway. Seriously, it really is not about the answer. And then they like asked the teacher, like, some of them were like, are you enlightened? And I was like, damn, that's a good question. At first I was like, damn, that's a good question. And I'm also like, it's like, when you think of like enlightened beings or through religions and these texts, you know, they claim they are the enlightened ones, whatever. And it's like, it doesn't really matter if they are the enlightened one or not. You get what I mean? Like, we came here, the 10 of us, or we came here for 10 days to figure this out for ourselves, you know? Like trialing and erroring, getting life experience and things of this nature. Like, I don't know. There were quite a few Europeans too. And some of them were asking these questions, and there was another guy who was actually Asian American as well, shout out Jerry. And like, he was asking her like, what is this? What is this? This define. And okay, they were using pretty large words like equanimity and, you know, like shit in Indian, so I understand like anicca, impermanence and stuff. That I get. But it's like the trying to understand the logic and reasoning, that's only for you to experience. Really though, at the end of the day, you feel me? Like, there's no point to ask that teacher that question, because the teacher's answer is not your answer. You guys have both completely lived two different realities. And if you try to compare your answer to their answer and try to live in their reality, it is no wonder why you are sad. You're literally comparing yourself to a reality that doesn't exist. And that's a good one. That's a good one. I just reminded myself of day 7. So on day 7, felt I was going crazy. Not like insane asylum, like, guys, I went in this bitch knowing I'm gonna make it out, and like, no matter what the fuck happens, okay? I'm not a fucking weakling. But however, that's why I say this is not to be played with, because if you're a weak-minded individual, I could see how this could like psychologically fuck someone up. Know yourself. You don't have to fake as a strong-willed person. However, me, I knew I was gonna go in this 10 days straight. Like, I'm gonna make it out. Like, I knew the moment before signing the application online, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this for 10 days. Like, no complaints. I'm not a pussy, is basically what I'm saying. But on day 7, I was going crazy. And I was like, fuck, I couldn't focus. And I was almost starting to get irritated, because I was just like, my only job is to breathe. And I can't even breathe. It's funny, when they finally tell you to pay attention to, can you breathe? You can't even fucking breathe. How many of us are not really even breathing right now? I know I'm breathing right now, but it was like a reminder, like, I haven't been breathing for a very long time, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can't focus, you know, like, and I explained to her a little bit more in depth, trying to use as simple English as I could. She spoke English, but like, I'm keeping it as simple as possible because she's obviously a Thai person. And I was like, you know, 90% of the time I'm thinking about other stuff. My mind is wandering, I told her. 90% of the time. Let's say we had a 1-hour meditation session before like a 5-minute break. It'd be like in intervals like that. 1 hour, 2 hour meditations, and then 5-minute break. 1 hour, 2 hour meditations, 5-minute break. And within that whole 1 hour, I would say I spent 58 minutes wandering. And then I would be like, come back to it, and then focus for 5 seconds, and then you start hearing fucking bullshit in the back of your head. And I had told her this, and what was really irritating me was the fact that on day 6 I was locked the fuck in. Dude, I was so locked in on day 6, like I was floating, dude. Like my mind was clear. Like there was no there was just simple presence. Just feeling my own body for real. And what is it? Oh yeah, so I told her, yeah, I was in flow state day 6, but oh my fucking god. Oh fuck. Oh fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Oh my gosh, she's getting fucking stepped on by 4 dogs. Dude, I can't. I'm walking faster. You get 1 drop of rabies in this bitch, you're done, bro. They're all friendly, I know. There's friendly strays, but guys, it takes 1 bite, and say goodbye to every single thing you ever had planned. Okay? I'm in like the poorest region of Thailand right now. You have no fucking idea. Some of these people take in, like there's neighborhood strays everywhere, you know? Anyways, day 7, tell her blah, blah, blah. I told her day 6, I was feeling like this, that. And she told me, she said, well, she said it in like very simple English, but I'm gonna put it in my version and how I interpreted it. She was like, you're comparing yourself to yesterday. Yesterday does not exist. Is today yesterday? No wonder why you're unhappy. You're comparing yourself to something, an idea, or someone who doesn't exist. You know, and then let me put it in the form like that she said it. It's like, you are compared to yesterday. Yesterday is not today. Breathe. Respiration. Sensation. Equanimity. It is not yesterday. It is today. I was like, damn. Like, thank you. Because I was getting irritated, like, I can't even breathe. I keep telling myself, focus on the respiration, and I can't. Like, it's like when you guys try so hard to do something and you just fucking can't. Like that irritatedness. And then like the harder part is that you need to enter flow state to enter this state. So being irritated doesn't help at all. You know? That's what it was for me, like. And she said that to me. And I was truly like, hold on. And she said that to me. That's all I needed to fucking hear. Like, she gave me a very simple answer. Literally, realistically, all she really said is, you compare to yesterday. Yesterday is not today. And from those 2 simple ass sentences, I heard a million words. Trying to understand my own reflection in these 2 simple sentences, and I did. And that's another thing. I keep seeing my reflection of myself in everything. And I always have. But right now it hits even more. Because when you take such a step away and really you're doing like deep surgery on the brain by like just observing it, you start realizing that every single thing you're paying attention to are just reflections of you and information about you. Like, you'll ask questions, like, there's times where I'm like, yeah, I'm getting pissed off at, like, not pissed, but, like, I told you guys, like, oh, that's not the point, guys, that's not the point, enlightenment. You guys are all searching for an answer, right? Like, I just said that to you guys. But then, I'm also seeing the reflection in it. Because I came there for a few answers, too. So it's not like I'm any better. I'm not saying they're not wrong for these questions, by the way. That shit is fair as fuck to ask, especially as a Westerner. Like, oh yeah, of course, they're fucking saying equanimous and like Indian words talking about sankhara. Sankhara is your reaction to reality, and anicca is impermanence. I'm like, fuck yeah, I would ask the same exact fucking questions. I just came on a separate type of time. So like, even that's a reflection, like if you're like, my life is bullshit, like, oh, this, that, this, like, your life, like, reality is not bullshit. You're bullshit. Like, and I've always found reflections in myself. But like, sometimes you gotta dip in and out and remind yourself, hey, listen to the self. Calm thyself. Relax the mind. Present. And right now, all I feel is my left leg. I feel the relaxedness in my right leg. I feel the wind entering my nostrils. And when I enter this mindset I did just now, all I'm simply doing is just accepting the present for what it is, with no reaction, no good, no bad. Just understanding that it is impermanent, and that right now, this is my present, this is reality. I'm not enlightened either, guys, like fully enlightened. But like, the people that are searching for enlightenment or to go to heaven or this or that, like, for real though, this is one thing I've always wondered. They're always like, this guy has the answer, like, and they ask the guy who has the answers to questions. Except like, the real point of the question being asked is for you to fucking find out the answer. Like, that's the thing though. You gotta remember that, guys. You know? The answer is like for you to figure out. We have a fucking mansions full of books on our smartphone, and you're telling me you can't find the fucking answer? It's like, okay, bruh. Take a step back for a second then, and just realize you have a mansion full of books in front of you. Take a step back for a second, you know? This isn't to like the people looking for an answer now. This is to all of us. Take a step back. Present. Just remember, take a step back. Breathe. What are you hearing next to you? What are you hearing? What do you see maybe? It's like, okay. It's all this knowledge here for me to experience. I have to find the answer. So go out there and give them hell. Really though. Because that was the whole point of this. Like, I'm like, so many people are like searching for an answer, and for me at least, if you guys want my answer, it's like, okay, it's either I fully live in that societal life, or I live in the life liberated from everything. And if you're not gonna do one or the other, then the only other option is to use what you learn to optimize you functioning in the real world. Because those are like the two only like paths we feel sometimes. It's like, go full unemployed, go just not care about anything and just be the monk and be alone in my own solitude and enjoy myself, my own peace. And I respect that. And then I also respect the other way of having to cooperate with others in order to function in society. So the point of this, like, don't ask that fucking question if you're not gonna go fucking be Buddha. Because Buddha is not Buddha himself. Buddha is just an enlightened being, an enlightened person. Buddha, the real technique of Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, is the one I just practiced. I'm gonna get better at talking to the camera again. Like, usually I'm good at it, but right now I'm just like letting my thoughts roam free so you guys can understand what took place in its fullest form, because this information is actually extra valuable for people who had similar experiences, so they can see how they might act, or how somebody reacts to something that is so psychoactive. And not even because it is the technique, the way, but like, you're really watching someone that was basically taken out of society for 10 days and deprived of all stimulation. This is what you're really looking at. I'm really just a product of that. So that's why it's important for me not to try to give you guys the best YouTube video possible, but to give you my natural reaction as to what may or can happen to an individual after depriving them of all of these things and all of these cravings, and taking them away from society and then throwing them back into modern society once again. This is what you are watching. Real raw journalism. This is raw journalism. Yeah, dude. I meditated at that temple. And this is my hotel. So, by like God's grace or some shit, by the path of Dhamma and experiential wisdom encompasses, I just so happened to be booked next to that huge temple, and I meditated in there today, this morning. I woke up, freshened up real quick, brushed my teeth. And then I walked to 7-Eleven to get a coffee. 10-minute walk. Got a bite of food. Headed back. And then I changed into like comfy clothing, like this long sleeve. And then long shorts with these. When I stretch them out, it's like pants, because I realize you really shouldn't be that revealing in the temple. Like, just more modest, you know? And then I meditated for 30 minutes to an hour, and there wasn't any chanting or anything. There was one single dude there, some old man in his monk attire, just on a computer. I don't even know what the fuck he was looking at. There was no noise or anything. It was silent, besides people coming to make donations, but they were quiet once they entered. That was the temple you saw. One weird thing you notice, one thing I always noticed about entering empty malls is that it was never about the mall or the location or where you were. It was always about the people. One thing I always notice about, sorry, let's do this again, because I want to like better exclaim this. There's a clip I can make out of this. One thing I noticed about entering empty malls is that it was never about the mall. It was always about the people. It is the people that make the mall, and this goes for practically anything. I see such beautiful temples and nobody in there meditating, and you realize that this temple was created for the sake of men and women of all kinds coming together for enlightenment. And yet when you see an empty temple, you realize it was never about the temple. It was always about you, the humans. You are the temple. It's just a reminder that you are the most important person. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was Buddhism and like how it's changed throughout the lands. So about 2,500 years ago, that is when Buddha came out with his technique. He's like, yo, I got some new shit. No, I'm just kidding. But meditation has existed for so much longer than that. However, it was Buddha's technique that expressed so much to and related to so many on a different level as to why his technique became so well known. It wasn't some marketing gimmick, just so many people found peace in it. And I just want to say this because when you actually study the technique of Buddha and then you go to like Thai temples or Indian temples or Vietnamese temples, you know, they all have their own version of Buddhism, and it strives from a mix of meditation practices, but when you say you're Buddhist, it strives from Buddha, you know? And that's not to say any of their meditation techniques don't work, not to say Buddha's is the best one, but what Buddhism is so much different than what Buddha actually taught once you actually are practicing it. You know, some of these temples, they do chants and they do tattoos but like what Buddha taught is nothing of this. It is so universal. Anyone can practice it. Any walk of life that is human or whatever. Even animals are probably already in this state. But yeah. This is not to compare or say anything's good or bad. I'm just saying if you are Buddhist and you would like to, well, not just for them, but I'll throw in the comment. If you are Buddhist or someone that is interested in Buddhism and understanding it, you know, a good place to really look deeper into is this Vipassana, because only one country kept the teaching alive as to what Buddha taught in its most pure form. Like Thai Buddhism, of course, similar to what Buddha actually taught and derives from it, but the most raw form, the only country it was kept alive in was in Burma, and it wasn't even kept alive by necessarily Burmese Buddhism. There were actually just a few teachers left that still remembered the very, very oldest, most raw, deep teachings of Buddha. And like, you can tell because when you study Buddha's technique directly, it's none of this, bruh. It's literally just breathe. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that's deadass the only fucking rule. I was like, okay, that's why. I get it. I get why so many people from all walks of life could understand this one, his specific version, his meditation technique, because it's deadass so simple, bro. You're not imposing your reality on anything, no beliefs, nothing. It's like literally just breathe and be aware of your existence. But like the way you become aware of your existence, the reason it feels so raw is because you're not visualizing anything. Sometimes they'll be like, visualize this, that in certain places of the world, and say God's name and recite this and say amen at the end and do this, that, this. But Buddha's was literally present, just breathe. So universal. And it's not religious at all. It's not a religion. It's literally a technique. He literally had a technique that helped him, and he gave it to others for free. Original course seller. Buddha was the original course seller, bro. Except the course he was selling was completely free. He was just giving free courses. OG method, yo. So how are we gonna do, how should I sell my course then? Oh, hell no. That is what the fuck kind of bug is that? Dude, bruh. Dude, there's exotic shit here, dude. There's like, oh fuck. I'm sorry, it's just fucking weird. Dude, there's shit that like, one time I was at the temple or the meditation center, and there were these shits that sometimes looked like a bee, but you looked at it and it was like, that is not a fucking bee. And it made a loud fucking noise. It wasn't a hornet or a wasp.
But there were fucking humongous wasps there. Huge. Huge. It was not even funny. Huge wasps. Just keep in mind, we're in the forest. Yeah, I don't know. I'll make a better video on this later. I sort of just wanted to throw it out there, like just genuinely document the things in my mind that pop up and I want to express out loud, like just naturally, organically. And I'm still experiencing it. But what you really learn about this is it's not like this 10-day meditation. It's not really like some ritual or rite of passage or anything. It's like the real thing is like you're supposed to make this part of your life. It's supposed to be part of your lifestyle. Because that's what people, another thing I was hearing people say, like, I did this 10 days, I should be enlightened, right? But I'm like, oh, what a path. This is a lifelong journey within yourself. So if you're asking, I should be enlightened, right? Oh, my brother, unless you are one of these prophets or some shits reincarnate, which you could be. I'm not. But what you could be, but if you aren't either, this is something you incorporate in your life. This is a lifestyle. This is not a religion. It is a state of mind. Also, another thing is like the semen retention. My balls are definitely filled right now. No fucking cap, bro. I have a fucking raging bull. I mean, I'm just being honest. But like, when you're afraid from yourself for 10 straight days and like enter these phases of Zen, I can see that when you become fully aware of yourself, you can use this vitality. Like, it was like a transmutation practice arc, where like you take the energy of something and then you use it to power different forms of other things. Like you use your happiness and energy, transmute that energy, take that energy, and then you use it to create art or go run, or you transmute that energy of motivation into wanting to go to the gym. And this was a good balancer. Like, I'm not really a semen retention type of guy. Honestly, it sounds way too not in nature and not natural, especially for how young I am. You know, I'm 24, good diet, always walking, trying not to eat processed, I work out, and it's no wonder, like if anything, more than ever, I'm more than fertile. Like, if anything, I would be stressing myself out. I don't masturbate. Not right now, at least. But it would be like almost stressful to let such a young bull not come. You know what I mean? To not let him come. That would honestly, to someone like me, that would almost be detrimental. However, from this 10 days of transmuting energies, happiness, sadness, irritation, vigor, it was a reminder of balance and the capabilities of my energies. It was a good reminder. I mean, I hope the guys understand what I'm saying right here. Like, I am a young man that is in good health. It is only natural for you to be, to be very fertile and have a large motile account at an age like this. Like, seriously. So don't be like, oh, what's this guy on, or embarrassed or want to skip. If anything, this can help you, other men who want to understand the meanings behind your own semen. Literally. There's some men I know who do semen retention, other men who are porn addicted, other men who only ever come when they're having sex with women, which is actually the most natural state, and you literally should be doing that because we have sex to breed, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that this is a good piece of advice for anybody of all walks, you know, men that live of many different lifestyles. Yeah, this was a good reminder for me. Just not even just the semen part and what testosterone does to you and how it makes you feel full of vitality, just in general transmuting the energies. That fucking like that real deep energy, that testosterone. Enter a gym where you smell the testosterone in the air. You come around me, you smell that testosterone. You know what I'm saying? You could smell you could taste that shit from my sweat. You could taste my balls just by being next to me. These big old balls. What the fuck is Unc on about, bro? But another thing as well I wanted to say. I had this meditation technique. So you guys want to know, some of my best flow states had like a certain thing I would do. Like my favorite way to enter my meditative states was to sit down with my legs completely equal like this. So I would sit completely equal like this, but then I would grab my balls and then lay them flat. Oh wait. So my most meditative states, before I entered some of my... So one technique that really helped me enter my meditation position... Oh fuck, hold on, let me put my key back in here. I'm also getting a clip right now. One of the best meditation positions for me was when I was completely equal, like legs completely equal. And right before I would enter my meditation process, I'll loosen up the body, and then I would just grab my balls and then lay them perfectly flat on my fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like just purely equal, like equal down to the ball sack. Boom. I'm pure equanimous, pure equanimity. And then I would enter that meditative state, bro. Just grab them big ass testosterone semen filled balls. I mean, we ready, we good. We ready to go. Yo, Buddha, I'm ready to reach Nirvana now. Quick little ball ritual. Fuck. But like dead ass, that's how I would like feel so equal. No fucking cap. And then another thing is like, you're supposed to feel the sensations throughout all of your body. Okay? Like you're supposed to scan your face, feel the vibrations coming out of your fingertips, toes, legs, thighs. And then one of the guys were like, were you supposed to do your dick? He asked me that at the end. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? They said scan every area of your body. Of course it should fucking have your dick in there. I felt the vibrations coming out of my balls. I felt the vibrations coming out of my dick. No homo, but I felt the vibrations coming out of my ass and my ass hairs. Like, but then he was like so shy. He was like, no. I always avoided that. I was like, do not be shy. You are literally here to like accept and be present in the full presence of your body. Like you cannot leave anything out. Toes, inside of my toes, under my foot, under my knees, hamstring, side of the hamstring, bicep, top of the bicep, front delt, front shoulder, mid shoulder, back, everything, bro. You're supposed to be being a free, you're supposed to be a body of like free flowing energy, free flowing consciousness. Like that's why you're becoming conscious of your own body and presence by acknowledging the vibrations even just running through you and the pieces of wind touching your skin. You know what I'm saying? Everything, guys. And for the ladies too, that goes for you ladies too. You got to make sure you feel the energy coming out of that cooter. Gotta feel that cooter energy, that divine feminine. You know what I mean? Seriously. Also, I don't really care for cigarettes anymore. I'm gonna finish this pack and we're done. Because I went 10 days that I literally did not care. Like, I'm literally not even addicted. And one thing about this technique that really opened my mind about breathing was my own psychological breakdown of maybe why I like smoking. Everyone has their reasons, you know. But for me, sometimes when you smoke that cigarette, you feel the cigarette air enter your lungs. You breathe for a second. You take a moment to be aware of your own breathing, just to puff it. And that's the meditating part, becoming aware of your own senses in this real world, in this physical realm. So yeah, I've never really like itched for the nicotine part. Sometimes lighting that cigarette and that joint and that blunt is more of a meditative healing thing, and maybe that could be a possible reason why, and one of the drops of why so many people smoke throughout the world just so happen. I don't know, but this is one of the psychological things I broke down to myself, and I'm still coming to the deeper meanings of. But to be quite frank, it's chill, but like it's also like I can literally just go without it. Like, why wouldn't I? Yeah, my relationship with like smoking is not as deep as others. Some people, their relationship with smoking is very, very deep. So it all just comes down to you, man. That's what I say. Like, when I watch people debate about what's right and what's wrong, it's like, or this is how the human mind works, or like you should be thinking like this and that. I'm like, to me, I'm not gonna say, oh, it's all bullshit, but it's not. But like, bruh, your life literally pertains to you and only you. Like, your experience level, no one's outgrowing anyone for real, because like, it literally does not matter. Like, the literal only thing that will give you like the deepest levels of wisdom and experience are the things you experience yourself and the wisdom you seek after your own self, by yourself, in your own reality, understood and cognized by yourself. You know, people literally understand and cognize things differently. Like, you could be debating a guy about the way a song sounds and what's better, and the fucking guy has, I don't know, some fucking hearing disability. Like, the way he cognizes reality and understands reality is completely different than you, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying don't take advice from people either, but like, low-key, if you don't want to take advice, bro, you deadass don't. You know, that's the best advice you got. Like, trust me, you're always listening, guys. Like, when it's an actual piece of knowledge being said out loud for you to take, your mind will literally listen on its own. Like, remember, everything is a reflection of yourself. You know, so don't go out here debating and questioning. Like, that's also stressful. Because, like, even if you can't understand my logic, it's fine. Because, like, you're literally never gonna understand me. Ever. So, like, why bother? You might even be looking at the reflection of someone trying to find the answer themselves. So, like, what am I even doing talking about this with you? You gotta love yourself. It's like, if you're in misery, you love no one. Because, like, the only way for you to understand love in its deepest forms is love for the self. And I was thinking about it. I was like, when I hang out with some of my dear, close people, when I see them again, when that time comes, sometimes I'm like, oh, it should always be some beautiful hangout. Oh, let's go do something while we're at it. But sometimes nowadays, guys, the most wholesome and deepest act of love I can give my friends is sitting with them in silence. Because they deserve me in my most peaceful forms, my most loving forms. And I love myself best when I'm in this present, peaceful mindset. Isn't that funny? Like let's say like someone's best present they can give is like a new Bugatti. And me, when I think about it, the best thing and most fulfilling thing I feel like I can give my friends now is being in this calm state. Like the other day I was with some people and I didn't even want to speak. I just wanted to watch and observe. This is the best way I can not feel you, but the best way I can spend my time with you in this natural state of just breathing and being present and doing nothing in this non-stressed state. You know what I mean? So yeah, if I see any of my IRL homies and you guys are like, yo, is something wrong? Like, should I, like, you want to talk about something and I'm just silent? Like, hey, don't mind me, bro. I'm experiencing something so beautiful with you right now. I'm giving you the best thing I believe I can offer. And that is me in my most peaceful and loving states. However, sometimes my most peaceful states is when I'm most present and just observing, just experiencing. But also to the homies that are on the move that I go on missions with, let's keep going on these missions because that is also some of my best forms of experiencing. Doing random ass shit, you know, just hopping on a fucking train in Thailand and next thing you know I'm fucking in the forest meditating for 10 days, like me and the bros, you know what I'm saying? We gotta go do that shit, bro. See, that's one of the other best things I can offer. Experiencing with. I'm best fucking guy to do any side mission with. We could go do some spiritual shit and fucking meditate with the monks or fucking go to the fucking most holy artifacts, or we can go fucking hop on trains here. But then also the best thing is we could go a night out in the towns, and I'm a good ass too, man. Good looking dude too. I like get some highs, bro. Yeah. Let's go fuck some. Let's go fuck something. You in on that mile? Let's go fuck something. I'm just kidding. This unpure mind of this man. Brother, go read the Bible. Shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm just kidding. Dude, that's another thing I learned on this trip, bro. I've always known, and some of my best moments is when I just make myself giggle and laugh, bro. I find so many people, like, it's like, oh, how do I make the people laugh? How do I make people laugh? But the best layers of laughter is the ones where it makes yourself giggle. And I love that I can enjoy these moments with myself and just make myself giggle and not take myself too seriously and just say dumb shit, bro. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be that deep. Just free flow. Just don't take yourself too seriously sometimes. You know when it's time to lock in. But like, if it's some dumb shit like this, I'm just chilling. Like, you don't gotta be a hard ass. Just chill. Laugh at yourself. You know, have that piece of snot go down your nose and you're like, ha ha. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's that real shit. And not only that, like, the best people to have fun with, you realize sometimes, the best people to go on trips with are the ones that don't take it too seriously, but you know that they're always aware and observing. Because, like me, I'm pretty free-spirited. Like, I'll go with the flow. I don't involve my opinion too much on anything. I'm not one of these guys that sit and debate. However, I am goddamn down for the mission, and I am always listening. I can guarantee you that. Okay, I can guarantee. If anything, I'm listening better than anyone, motherfucker. I'm in the most calm state to understand every little thing you're saying and put it in these mental libraries of mine in the brain. Always listening, always aware, always present. I'm always listening. Oh yeah, let me tell you guys about this baddie. Okay, I'll get a clip farm real quick. This is for the short form content. So, first day I get into the temple, orientation day. There's this Korean, first day of the orientation, I make it to the temple, 10 minutes before registration. So I make it into the temple, 10 minutes before the orientation. So I make it into the temple, 10 minutes before we start meditating in. Oh, wait, hold on. Here's a car. So I make it in the, so day one, I make it into the temple 10 minutes before the meditation starts, and there's somebody to check me in, and it just so happens that it's this Korean baddie. Oh my God. She was like maybe in her 30s, I don't know, but she did not look a day over 25. Oh my God, so fine. And I saw so much happiness and freedom and calmness in her eyes as she's checking me in. And through these 10 days of meditating with her in the forest, I'm like, wow. She is truly connected with herself. We're here in the middle of the forest, shedding tears of liberation and enjoying the pain of enlightenment, just there in silence. And then I look to my right for just half a second and see this Korean beauty, true enlightenment. We're reaching nirvana. I'm like, wow, what if I just fuck the shit out of this Korean bitch? Let me just take that enlightened little throat of yours and fuck the shit out of you. Yo, Luca.
No.
Read it to another guy. Another brother. Oh, that was a great actual story I have for you guys. So, at this temple, at this meditation center, it was maybe like 1/3 men, 2/3 women. And surprisingly enough, a lot of the guys were within my range of age. One was 20, another 22, another 24, another 26. All the other guys were like 30 plus, went through divorces, normal guys. There's like this one old 69-year-old white guy. Old dude, Aussie, real Aussie. Old man, but he's been to 24. And we didn't speak for 9-10 days straight. And yet I feel like I experienced so much pain with them that I can call them a real friend of mine. Because although words weren't exchanged, we went through so much pain together. Pain is bonding. The pain of enlightenment. We went through war together, brothers. The days I wanted to hunch my back or wanted to go take a 5-minute break and walk outside to grab water in these intense meditation hours of practice, I'd open my eyes for just a tiny bit, like 10% open, and because I'm like, I wanted to distract myself. I wanted to open my eyes, and I opened it just a little and see the man in front of me working hard. That was enough for me. I closed my eyes and I said, focus, present. You are the master of your mind. Then I looked at the man to my right. He's going crazy, his hands on his head. And you see some shaking. And I'm like, thank you, brother. You just made me realize I'm not fucking crazy. I must focus then. We're all in this together. To know that you are struggling with me. The man in front of me is struggling with me too, trying his hardest. I felt closer to these men that I spoke not a word to for 10 days straight than I do with some people I spent hours, days, years knowing and being with. Simply because I went through pain and struggle with these men. And we all share the same experiential struggle together. And we pushed each other. Isn't that crazy? Like, someone stopped me from going crazy by showing he was experiencing the same thing, and another man showed me you must push forward and fight just by having his back straight. And there were 0 words said. Our only fucking thing we had to do was breathe. You know, everyone's like, what I realize is like with this technique or these journeys of the self, everyone's looking for an answer. And it's just like, the point is that there isn't an answer. Like, you just gotta understand your own balance, bro. Like, fuck. Like, there's not really an exact answer, bro. Like, so you're like literally putting yourself in more misery by constantly looking for one. Just allow the thoughts to pass and acknowledge them. Then let go. And experience the further answer every passing second. The deeper answer is coming every second, guys. And another scary thing to me is like, you know, I wouldn't say I reached enlightenment and nirvana, because for me personally, that's a journey. However, every step I take further and closer to enlightenment, it only makes me I don't know. It makes me more excited, more calm, more like, I don't fucking know what I'm saying anymore. I wish I could fucking like just have you guys like touch my face and just have everything I'm feeling and experienced like upgraded knowledge or like uploaded to you, because the way I feel, no words can explain these things. I can try my best, but I know nothing can really explain how I feel. I really do. Like these moments of tears, of liberation and whatnot, if I were to give you my best answer, it'd probably be just 5 words in 1 sentence. And you're like, oh, but the answer, explain it to me. It's like, I can't even fucking explain how I feel. Like how this feels, I'm not the enlightened, but this feeling of enlightenment. There's no words, dude. It transcends words. It transcends these physical frequencies. I can't even compress it down into these words anymore. I don't know. keep pushing forward. Last ciggy, and I'm out. But yeah, I just wanted to document how I feel immediately after. I'll probably make an actual video when like I have the idea or the conscious approach of like, okay, let me make a fledged out message direct, put in the shortest forms, most digestible forms. But I just wanted to document some of the exact thoughts that I'm experiencing in real time with the idea of documenting and journalizing it. So this video might be all over the place, and don't mind it. Don't mind it. Hey, I love you. I love y'all. Dude, look how puffy my face is. Dude, I smoked so much last night, I just went to sleep. Also, a weird thing, like once you enter meditation, like these meditative states, bro, it's so easy to fall into like this deep sleep, and you become so commanding of the mind that like you literally don't need as much sleep, I swear. Because like it's so easy for you to enter deep sleep that like, you know, like 4 hours of REM sleep is better than 8 hours of fucking half awakeness sleep, or like somewhat sleep. You know what I mean? Like than decent sleep. I swear 4 hours of REM is better than 6 to 8 hours of beginning stage sleep or middle staged. It's a weird phenomenon. And I was like, am I the only one experiencing this? But nah, it's very normal, because you're able to calm your mind so fast and enter such deep levels of sleep that it's like literally optimizing it for you. It optimizes it. Like, okay, I'm in this deep, I'm entering sleep state. Let's enter the most recoverable and deepened states of it. Anyways, I love y'all. Peace. I guess I'll end it with this. Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam. I wanted to try this on camera. I'm trying to make it sound like decent, but like the actual way you're supposed to recite these words is, it's like literal throat singing, like Asian throat singing. So it's like that's literally how it sounds when you're like actually, the way it's like actually sung or said or spoken in, it's like that. But I'll just do simple. I'll keep it simple. Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam Bhavatu Sarva Mangalam. I love y'all.